Hi, my name is Ryan Haney, and I'll be talking about animal testing. The thought that has been running through my mind a lot lately is, how do animals die for human benefit? These thoughts range way above hunting and fishing, though. I've always had a soft spot for animals, and I've always had a type of personal sympathy for the multitude of these animals. I'm a regular fisher, but I always release them and have always been interested in hunting, but curious of the toll that it may take. Taking a life for benefit that I could live without seems very careless, and left me wondering about how people do such things. In my mind, if animals' lives being taken does not directly benefit or prolong my own, then there is no right in doing so. I took it upon myself in this assignment to figure out why we do such cruel testing on animals, and in some cases take their lives. I read through multiple sources and examined a handful of studies that further my knowledge on the subject. In the first article I came across, how have animals' lives contributed to improving human health? Summed up a lot of the big questions of why we do it. In this article, it takes no time to let the reader know that without animal testing and research, that we as humans would struggle to live past 40. It briefly tells how many of our worst pandemics in the latter years have been deeply examined and cured through the use of animals. This is where the controversy kicks in with many people. Is it fair to kill animals, better the lives of our own? In my mind, it stands out as a must. In a constant food chain, you must either evolve to times or die off, and in this case, I believe it is fair. Do animals benefit from these tests? In another article I read, how do animals benefit from animal research? It tells how most of their health observations or breakthroughs apply to other animals as well. They talk about how many vaccines, antibiotics, and surgical methods are applied to household pets, zoo animals, or even wildlife if need be. I found this very enticing, that they could use this knowledge to help benefit the animal population if certain illnesses arise in their lives. My mind was really trying to juggle all this at this point on whether these tests are really worth the death toll of animals, and it's really hard thoughts for me to come up right at a conclusion. So I kept digging. Alternative to these deadly observations are what a lot of people may be thinking. My thoughts on this question probably range in some areas as many other people. In this day and age, with the amount of technology that we empower, there should be another way. Well, as I read my next source, there are alternatives to the use of animals in research. My questions were all answered. If scientists could replace animal testing, they would. Not with any other research observation. Animals are very hard to take care of and are very difficult to work with. It also said that they are working on different research ways that have uncovered luck with tissue culture, microorganisms, and computer models, but still have a large use for animals in their research. Most of the articles I skimmed through really had no bad opposition to most of the works I found. One that showed with a fueling the fire in the background is, what are the issues involving animal rights? In this article, it tells that all arguments against these researches come from the sole thought that animals have rights also. This is the controversy that I had first encountered on my very own thought process. Do we really have that right to do this just because we have the power to? I mean, the same question arises in our daily lives. Should I do something just because I can? Very good questions that just makes an argument harder for anyone to side with. In my next article, how do laws and regulations govern the use of care of animals? It tells about the laws that are implemented in today's society that attempts to increase awareness and security for these animals. Most of the questions tie into the Animal Welfare Act. This act has been around for many years, but covers the big ideas such as housing, transportation, feeding, and veterinarian costs or care of pets, and as late in most laboratory animals. This act also encourages many people to find a safe alternative ways of testing rather than use of animals. Finally, the last question that most people fear to really hear is how much pain these animals go through. In the article I read, How Much Pain Do Animals Experience During Testing, quickly tells that 95% of all animals tested in the world do not experience pain during their research. So you may be wondering, what about the other 5%? In the article, it says the majority of the 5% only have temporary pain and does not last it for long. For the others that endure the prolonged pain, they make sure to tell you that these issues, things that massively affect our own kind, and that they need to research to help us out in the long run. After reading through multiple opinions and a handful of studies with proven facts, thrown into a mix of my mind, was pretty torn out trying to figure my own opinion. My conclusion was that I myself believe for this day and age that these tests are essential to our own life and our growth of knowledge, but also came to the conclusion that I think laws should definitely be implemented to further keep animals as pain-free as possible. In this resolution, we will still be able to draw new information about a variety of arguable concepts, but not just anyone can do it, meaning that someone must really be devoted to the battlefront or for the betterment of a cause and only use animals research as a last result.